It's the radio guy, Mike Prince. Welcome to the Sunday Night Live edition of the Mike Prince Show. We come to you each and every day, Monday through Friday. We try to give you a little bonus coverage on Sunday evenings, beginning at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. We have a lot to discuss on this evening. We have one scheduled guest, and it's kind of a good news, bad news scenario. We'll explain that in just a second. But our guest scheduled tonight is Athletic Director of the Prairie View A&M University Panthers, Dr. Donald Reed. The Prairie View A&M University Panthers, winners of the Commissioner Cup for 2021. Rough weekend for the SWAC baseball champions, the Southern Jags, as well as the Norfolk State Spartans and the McNeese Cowboys. We'll explain all that and much, much more. So much to get in a short time to get it done. But what I got to do first, I got to set the table. Got to recognize our sponsors and underwriters. So we'll take a break and we'll jump right into tonight's episode. We'll be right back. You listen to the Mike Prince Show, Sunday Night Live. Hold it where you got it. Reflections Paint and Auto Body Shop, located in Waller, Texas, is ready to restore the beauty of your automobile. Whether it's a small dent or a major accident, if your vehicle needs auto body repair, check out Reflections Paint and Body Shop. All repairs are completed by highly skilled and trained professionals. They are located at 2910 Waller Street in Waller, Texas. And just in case you can't get it into them, they provide towing services. Call them today, 936-931-5780. That number again, 936-931-5780. Brazos Valley Schools Credit Union has 13 different locations to better serve you. Locations in Rosenberg, Missouri City, Katy, College Station, Bryan, Brenham, and Waller, Texas. For more information, you can contact them on their toll-free number, 855-391-2149. Or you can send an email to information@bvscu.org. Let's face it, from time to time, we'll have a need for an attorney, whether it's the case of a DUI, DWI, or any other circumstances that would find you on the other side of the law. Attorney Lee Van Richardson, located at 1047 Austin Street, is the one to call. Attorney Lee Van Richardson and his staff are equipped to help you get through your legal battles. Attorney Lee Van Richardson, 979-826-8008 in Hempstead, Texas.
This broadcast has been made possible by the support of the Prairie View Athletic Club. The Prairie View Athletic Club is a proud supporter of Prairie View A&M University athletics. For more information on becoming a member of the Prairie View Athletic Club, send your email to pvathletic.club@gmail.com. That email address again is pvathletic.club@gmail.com. Prairie View Athletic Club, a proud supporter of Prairie View A&M University athletics.
Have sports, will travel. The Open Mic Broadcast Network serving student athletes from Little League, high school, and collegiate coverage right here on the Open Mic Broadcast Network. From coast to coast, from dusk till dawn. You can catch all student athletic action right here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network, the station designed with you in mind. Serving the community through faith and athletics, the Open Mic Broadcast Network, the voice of student athletics. And welcome back to the Sunday Night Live edition of the Mike Prince Show. Before we took the break, we told you we had a good news, bad news situation. Our scheduled guest tonight is Dr. Donald Reed of the Prairie View A&M University Panthers. He's the athletic director, of course, Prairie View, winners of the 2021 Commissioner Cup. And the good news is he's going to be our guest in the Brazos Valley Schools Credit Union Hotline. The bad news is he's a little bit under the weather, so we won't have a long as anticipated time with him. So we get into questions that we can while we have him on the Brazos Valley Schools Credit Union Hotline. But that'll be coming up momentarily here throughout the course of the show. Big weekend in regional baseball. The Alston Regionals saw the Southern Jags get eliminated. They lost to Fairfield by the score of 6-2, which was their elimination game. And then they followed up, not followed up, but led that with the loss to University of Texas 11-0. Now, there's been a lot of buzz in Jag Nation questioning why some of the pitching moves and the lineup changes were done and why not dance with the one that got you there. Easier said than done. Baseball is about matchups. And looking at the scouting report, we had them on the show prior to the opening of the tournament, and everything is kind of predicated on what your staff matchups look like when you go on, especially into a tournament-like situation. But nonetheless, fell a little short, and they'll go back to try to get things done all over again. Meanwhile, Norfolk State, even though they got swept as well, they had a little bit more run production in their losses, and McNeese ran out of gas as well. So now that the baseball season from the HBCU perspective is over with, how do you summarize the baseball season? Do you feel that the best team represented the Southwestern Athletic Conference? Some would say no, depending on how they look at the work that Jackson State did throughout the course of the regular season. Fell one game short in the baseball tournament, but with the structure and the way of things, that's just the way it is for right now. A lot of controversy, if you would, leading up to the postseason play of the SWAC baseball tournament. What is exactly 80%? Does 19.2 equal 20? And the list just goes on and on. But nonetheless, it is what it is. The dust is settled. The next time baseball will convene, there'll be an additional 2 teams, Bethune-Cookman and FAMU, to make what should be a very interesting and intriguing baseball season. Meanwhile, July 1st will kick things off for the growth of the SWAC with Bethune and FAM. July 20th will be the media day. And you knew that the conference office was going to have to try and do something. You couldn't allow this opportunity to go without going live. I know we're still creeping through the COVID situations and circumstances, but you had to think or assume that something, somehow, some way was going to be accommodated to take advantage of this opportunity. It's not every year you get to open up with expansion. It's not every year you get to have Deion Sanders behind the microphone. So they're going to gather up and meet in Birmingham July 20th. And I'm not mistaken, I think that's on a Tuesday or something. I don't know. I'm not looking that far ahead, but we will be providing some coverage with the latest and the greatest information going on. Projections had come out over the weekend, and in the East for football, some are picking Alabama A&M with Jackson State number 2, FAMU number 3. Depending on who you ask, some would probably flip 2 and 3, and if not 1 through 3. But that's why they play the games. And on the western side of things, it was determined that Southern would end up being the last man standing. And I'm pretty sure that Alcorn and Pine Bluff are going to have something to say about that. We're going to have to take a break so we can get the Brazos Valley line cleared up for Dr. Donald Reed, our scheduled guest on this evening. And if you just joined in, We will not have him as long as anticipated. He's a little bit under the weather, but we are thankful that he did not back out and cancel on us. So they get shaved from a toothpick in the middle of the desert beats nothing at all. So what I got to do is take a break, get some things lined up, and we'll be back with our first guest and only guest of tonight on the Brazos Valley Schools Credit Union Hotline. Keep it where you got it. We'll be right back.
Drivers and bicyclists both have the right to be on the road and travel safely. And when we're on the road together, safety is a shared responsibility. State law requires drivers to maintain at least 3 feet of clearance when passing bicyclists. And bicyclists should always ride with the direction of traffic and follow all traffic signals. It's safer. It's courteous. It's the law. A message from the Regional Planning Commission Pedestrian and Bicycle Program.
Ladies and gentlemen, in the next 7 years of bigger and bigger enrollments, America's grade schools will need nearly 250,000 extra teachers besides those to fill normal vacancies. This great need, plus the growing public interest in education and improvements in schools, make elementary school teaching a more rewarding career than ever, a career that high school and college students should certainly consider. Education holds America's future, perhaps your future.
The birth of legends are storied in this conference. We must never forget our rich history. We now turn our gaze to the future. The new legends will emerge. New heroes to arise. The Southwestern Athletic Conference. Be our history.
Brazos Valley Schools Credit Union has 13 different locations to better serve you. Locations in Rosenberg, Missouri City, Katy, College Station, Bryan, Brenham, and Waller, Texas. For more information, you can contact them on their toll-free number, 855-391-2149. Or you can send an email to information@bvscu.org.
Serving the community through faith and athletics. The Open Mic Broadcast Network.
Never let anyone devalue or underestimate your hard work and dedication. Many times we hear people say, "Wow, you're lucky. I wish I was as lucky as you were." I've learned something about the word luck. It's not necessarily one having luck, be it good or bad. It's about how a person applies the life lessons learned to their next assignment or challenge that lies ahead. We all are faced with challenges. We all have obstacles. We all have days that we wish we could have stayed in bed. The bottom line is, you take what's in front of you, work with what you've got until your change comes. The next time someone tries to tell you that you're walking around in this wealth of luck, it's okay to smile and accept it. But if you remember nothing else, remember this. Luck is spelled L-U-C-K, which stands for labor under correct knowledge. And when you labor under the correct knowledge, more than likely, you will come out ahead of whatever situation is laid before you. This has been another Moment with Mike. Thank you for tuning in. You guys be blessed, and we'll see you on the other side.
Hey, Mike, how you doing? Just sort of a little scrummy message about the Southland Conference. Wanting to get Prairie and Texas Southern and Grambling and Southern into the conference. They're running scared, afraid now. Just a big no, no, no.
And welcome back to the Sunday Night Live edition of the Mike Prince Show. You heard that little insert coming in off the message line in regards to the Southland kicking up dirt yet again this week, letting it be known that they had a vested interest in Prairie View, Grambling, Texas Southern, and Southern University. Welcome back. We are live right now. We had scheduled Athletic Director Dr. Donald Reed. We had some gaps missing. We'll try to catch him on the next segment. Was not quite sure. He is reported being under the weather, and we do appreciate him making whatever necessary efforts to be with that. As a matter of fact, we believe he is calling in right now, so we're going to take us a quick break, and with that, we'll be right back. The Open Mic Broadcast Network is an independent network that is dedicated to local community programming featuring sports, the gospel, community news, and much, much more. It is our endeavor to keep the community informed, enlightened, encouraged, and entertained. Our continued existence is solely predicated on those who donate toward our cause. The opportunity to give is a very simple process. You can visit our Open Mic Broadcast Network site at obnradio.com, click on the PayPal button, and become a supporter today. For those of you who would prefer to send in a donation, make all checks payable to Open Mic Broadcast Network, OPEN, capital MIC, Broadcast Network, P.O. Box 891, Prairie View, Texas, 77446. Thank you for your support. Thank you for spreading the word of the Open Mic Broadcast Network, serving the community through faith and athletics, the voice of student athletics since 2002. And welcome back to the Mike Prince Show. A little slight adjustment, but that's what happens when you go live. You never can tell. We are glad to have on the Brazos Valley Schools Credit Union Hotline athletic director for the Prairie View A&M University Panthers, commissioner champions of 2021, Dr. Donald Reed. How you doing this evening, sir?
Outstanding. How are you, sir, and everyone in Pantherland?
Well, we're excited. Congratulations. I do know that you're on a limited schedule, so we thank you very, very much for making yourself available. And with that, I want to be respectful of your time, and we're going to jump, as I say, I guess, head first instead of foot first into this thing so we can get things going. You're coming up. You're coming up on 1 year of your initial landing as the athletic director, June 15th, if I'm not mistaken. So a couple of days off from hitting the exact calendar year. And with that being said, sir, how much have you gathered and what is the plan forward right now? As they would say, you've had enough time to assess what's the plan of action now.
I'd say it was a very informative year. In spite of the fact that we didn't have traditional sports seasons, I was able to get a great look internally as well as externally. One of the things that I missed out on was the opportunity to travel to some of our peer institutions. So I'm looking forward to that this coming fall. However, I think I got a really good understanding of where we are in regards to our internal operations as well as our baseline for performance. And it's been very informative, very supportive staff as well as administrators as well as others involved, especially President Simmons. She's a remarkable person and a great leader. So I was able to learn quite a bit from her over the last 11 months, and I'm excited for the trajectory we're on. We've won the Commissioner's Cup as well as the recognition, the James Frank Trophy for our men's team efforts this year. And so we're very excited. We have a great start and a foundation that we're continuing to build so that we can perform both academically and athletically at a very high level consistently.
Okay, very good. We're on the Brazos Valley Schools Credit Union Hotline with Athletic Director Dr. Donald Reed. Now, with all the accolades that you have accomplished in your first year in the driver's seat, is that enough for you to hold checkmate on everything as far as administrative moves, coaching moves? Is everything happy in Pantherland right now, or should we be expecting some moves in the near future?
I would say we're in a good position. As all great organizations and companies and institutions, we always evaluate at the end of the year and make changes or decisions or adjustments that will continue to elevate our performance and attempt to sustain excellence. So it's always those opportunities again to reflect and look at what the future holds for us and how we can be prepared to efficiently and effectively proceed and pursue those next benchmarks, if you will. Not necessarily be satisfied with just winning a conference championship. You want to advance to NCAA competition, and we want to be on a national level with our programs academically and athletically. So there are some things that we would definitely look at to continue on the upward trajectory that we've established.
Okay. If you were to give a number grade with 1 through 10, 10 being the greatest, where would you assess your athletic program right now?
That's a great question. It's hard to quantify because there's so many moving parts. I would say we're definitely in that percentile range that everyone likes to be in, is that B to B plus average. There's some things we know that we can do and implement to continue on the trajectory. And now it comes down to executing what's necessary to provide first and foremost a great athletics and academic experience for our student athletes, and providing the resources necessary for our coaches to be successful. Those are the things that we will strongly focus on going into this year and put ourselves in position to win those championships and be in NCAA competition and graduating, most importantly, graduating and preparing our student athletes for their transition into their professional careers.
Okay, so if I'm hearing you, you gave a letter grade of a B, B plus. I guess that would be an 8 on the scale of 1 to 10. Is that safe to assume that?
Yes, 7.58. Yes, sir.
Okay, very good, very good. And I'm talking fast because I know we got limited time, and so I'm a fire off as many questions as I can. And thank you for taking them in. Now there are 3 hot questions I hope I have time to ask you because they are really pressing. And I guess the first one, because we were into a segment prior to you calling in, this Southland echo keeps coming out and it's getting louder and louder. And I know you were on the show before and you said thanks but no thanks. Does that stand still hold true? I know we can't stop people from talking, but as they say it ain't so, Joe, that this is a possibility of Prairie View. I'm concerned about the others, but I'm concerned about Prairie View. That Prairie View is not seriously listening to these invites, are they?
No, we have not engaged in substantive conversation with the Southland Conference itself, nor with anyone around moving and changing our conference. It's one of those things that we're committed to. We're committed to where we are. I was always taught to plant your feet and be in the moment and be present where you are and be excellent where you are.
Okay.
So we still have some room to grow with our conference and become excellent and sustain excellence. So when people ask me, of course, you would imagine I get quite a few questions about that. We are strongly committed to our Southwestern Athletic Conference and those involved in the conference. And we want to be excellent in our conference. And then, as I said just a few moments ago, on the national stage as well.
Okay, very good.
That's where we are at this time. Is no concern. We're getting ready for our September and August competitions because we have volleyball and soccer and football and cross country all preparing to get ready to go in the next 90 to 100 days.
Absolutely, absolutely. We're talking once again with Dr. Donald Reed of the Prairie View A&M University Panthers, athletic director and winner of the 2021 Commissioner's Cup. Now, when we talk about the Commissioner's Cup, it's tomato. All things are not necessarily equal, and which is leading me to part A. What is the official budget for Prairie View Athletics, sir?
I would say it's a fluid situation. At any point in time, we could be anywhere from 12 to 13 million to 16 to 17 million. It just depends on the year and the level of revenue we generate with our football and basketball programs. That has an impact in the overall operating budget. We also get support from our student association with athletic fees and the support of our sponsors and others. So as you well know, as sponsors can come and go and depending on the schedule, how we're able to generate revenue. And then, of course, ticket sales and other revenue streams we definitely missed out on this year and last year as well, prior to my arrival, due to the pandemic. So we have a lot of ground to cover, and we need a lot of support from our alums and fans, not only coming to games and talking about us positively in the community and on social media, but coming out to games and donating to the Panther Athletic Fund and supporting our student athletes are extremely important for us to achieve and sustain the goals that we have, not only for our athletics department, but for our university as well. So all of those things are front of mind for us, and would love to have our alums and fans and friends of the university to step up and support us in all of our endeavors.
Okay, very good. Now, what percentage of your ticket sales, I know you didn't have an actual number from the pandemic year, but I'm pretty sure you had access to the numbers prior to you coming. Mm-hmm. What percentage of ticket sales actually go towards the budget?
Oh, man, that's a great question. Specifically, I would say it's roughly 10% or so. It fluctuates again as the amount of home games that we have and how it works with regard to the attendance and the like. At the same time, again, we get a lot of support from university as well as the students in their contributions to our operation as well, which we're very appreciative of that support. It comes down to everyone rallying together and supporting the student athletes. And in doing so, they're supporting our athletics program. Very
good. And last but not least, as they say, we save the best for last, right? And it's part of a true false, answer, I guess, or response, and then it will lead to the next part. Is it true that Prairie View A&M University is moving from 2.8 to 3.0 for students and student athletes to be able to become eligible to be a part of this university?
The answer specifically is no. The university has their standards. We follow those. At the same time, we have a standard we'd like to have our students ascend to. And part of that is their academic performance. So university goes through their evaluative process, and then we assess where we are and look at our student athletes by individual. So it's kind of a dual role that both of us play with regard to admissions of students. And then in doing so, we take a look at our student athletes, individual by individual, and determine their performance at their previous institutions or whether it's high school, and then build support around them such that we can ensure that we're able to provide a quality academic experience too. So we do vet using quantitative measures, but there's a qualitative component that we also use not only for incoming students but continuing students.
Okay, so if we were to like cut right to the chase, what is the hard number for a student or student athlete to be eligible to enter at Prairie View? What's that grade point?
Well, the university, my understanding, it depends on whether they're high school or a transfer student or a graduate student. So it depends on how they're coming in. So it could be anywhere from a graduate student earning their bachelor's degree and coming as a graduate student, and whatever the criteria would be for that particular discipline or academic department.
That's usually a B. That's usually been about a B. That's about a 3.0 for grad.
3.0.
Right, for grad students.
And then for undergraduates, it could be anywhere from a 2.5 to a 2.8 or 9. So
okay.
It just depends on what information we have and what major they would like to pursue and their performance. Just as if you would look at in other industries, there's usually a baseline requirement to be eligible to be a candidate, whether it's a bachelor's degree or a master's degree required. You in your profession, if you hire someone serve for your company or corporation, you might have a baseline standard, but that does not mean that you will hold to that. There might be some special circumstances that would mitigate or eliminate or make you think about adjusting your standard to accommodate. So it's a qualitative evaluation, of course, but then there's also a quantitative component. So
okay.
It's hard to say one or the other.
Okay, it's interesting that you would say that, because if it's open to make necessary adjustments on per case, from what I'm understanding you saying, wouldn't it be, I guess, less confusion if the requirement was a 2.0? And the reason I'm saying this, and there's no right or wrong answer, just me thinking out loud. HBCU institutions in particular were designed with a purpose to give an opportunity for people of color, people less financial backgrounds, to get an opportunity to taste the other side of the pie, if you would. And if you're making it to where you're excluding those who you were designed for, A, does that concern you as one being in education, and then as an athletic director, where your livelihood is predicated on student athletes who might not necessarily have that 2.5, 2.8, or 3.0, but can get in there and grow to that expected level of excellence in the classroom by grooming and developing them?
Yes, that's the part of the qualitative part of the evaluation. So in other words, there are words and numbers on a piece of paper that only tells one part of a very complex story.
Yes,
so
sir.
That's where you have the qualitative component. For example, you will contact a young man, a young woman. You ask them about their experience, what they would like to accomplish, what are their goals. You then talk with those that work with them on the academic side, whether it's a student, a high school counselor, a community college counselor, or a counselor, or someone at the previous institution, and get more information. So more data makes you have a more informed decision.
No doubt. Oh, I understand exactly what you mean.
Exactly.
Because
so that's a part of the progress, because the number only tells one story. Case in point, on your show, you probably talk about final scores of competitions.
Yes, sir.
And all you see is the final score. You don't see or get a chance to understand the effort that was put forth by those teams, especially the team that falls short of winning.
Exactly. That's my entire case in point, sir, because when I came to Prairie View A&M University, January 10th, 1988, I had exactly a 2.0 grade point average. When I graduated, I had a 3.3. I was able then to go and get a master's and a doctorate, but I would have never got that opportunity if looking at me on paper said, nah, he doesn't qualify. Let's move on to the next person. And that's all. I know we're pressed for time right now, and I don't want you to have me saying, Mike, you lied to me. You said I can only be on for so long. And I don't,
No, it's okay.
But I'm truly thankful for the time, and I just wanted to get some clarity. But you got to come back when we got some time so we could break some things down, because I don't want you to not answer my calls anymore, because I was not a man.
No, sir. I would definitely answer your call. But you bring up a great point. There's one thing between content and context. We're looking for not only content, but the context. The questions why? What can we do to help? Where can we elevate your performance academically or athletically, or to prepare you for your transition to life after your athletics experience, with the degree and with a great education that you can apply to the rest of your life. So all of those things are vetted. That's why we just don't use the analytics. We look at the other part, the qualitative part. I lost my word momentarily, but
it's okay. Happens to the best of us. Happens to the best of us. I talk for a living. I lose my word every other minute. No, not a problem at all, sir. Well, look, I appreciate you making yourself available with us on this evening. I want to be fair and give you some closing thoughts and comments, sir, and the floor is now yours.
Yes, sir. As I said at the outset, we're very excited to get going and ramping ourselves up for the fall. We're excited to see everyone on our campus and in our competition venues this coming season, both fall and spring. And again, we need your support. We want you loud and proud, and we want you to help us provide a great experience for these young men and women and our students that really support us as well by giving back, giving your time, giving monetary support, whatever you can do to really prepare these Panthers to have great success once they earn their degree and win championships and be able to pass their legacy on to those coming after them.
Absolutely, sir. And as they say, it's duly noted. We try to do all we can while we can, financially, monetarily, spiritually, and content-wise, as well as context. Sir, I thank you so much for joining us on this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, we got to take a break, and we'll continue on. But we want to thank Dr. Donald Reed for joining us on the Brazos Valley Schools Credit Union Hotline. You guys keep it right where you got it, and we will be right back. You listen to the Mike Prince Show. Keep it right where you
The voice of student athletics, the Open Mic Broadcast Network.
The Open Mic Broadcast Network would like to take this time to recognize its sponsors and underwriters: Attorney Lee Van Richardson, Brazos Valley Schools Credit Union, Prairie View Athletic Club, Temple of Refuge Ministries, Reflections Paint and Body Shop, Helping Hands Lawn Service, Diva Skin Conditioner, Purple Drip Daiquiri and Grill. For more information on how you can become an underwriter or a sponsor here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network, our number to call is 832-213-8824. Serving the community through faith and athletics. The Open Mic Broadcast Network, Prairie View, Texas.
Drivers and bicyclists both have the right to be on the road and travel safely. And when we're on the road together, safety is a shared responsibility. State law requires drivers to maintain at least 3 feet of clearance when passing bicyclists. And bicyclists should always ride with the direction of traffic and follow all traffic signals. It's safer. It's courteous. It's the law. A message from the Regional Planning Commission Pedestrian and Bicycle Program.
Brazos Valley Schools Credit Union has 13 different locations to better serve you. For more information, you can contact them on their toll-free number, 855-391-2149. Or you can send an email to information@bvscu.org.
Broadcasters come into our lives on radio and TV, bringing us information and entertainment. Broadcasters are there for us, but who is there for them when they fall on hard times? The Broadcasters Foundation of America provides financial assistance to broadcasters in acute need due to a critical illness, accident, or other serious misfortune. If you know of a broadcaster on the air or behind the scenes who may need our help, please share our message. Visit broadcastersfoundation.org.
Did you know since 1986 the Prairie View Athletic Club has been in full support of Prairie View athletics? From football to tennis, the Prairie View Athletic Club has been there in the time of need. Did you also know that the Prairie View Athletic Club is open to all of those who will be interested in supporting Prairie View athletics? Do not have to be a former student athlete. You don't even have to be a graduate of Prairie View. If you are a community member at large and you would like to support the efforts of the Prairie View Athletic Club in support of Prairie View athletics, simply call 936-857-5817 and join today. The Prairie View Athletic Club, supporting Prairie View athletics since 1986. Call for more information right now. 936-857-5817.
Our fans need to come out and support these schools. All of our SWAC fans, because attendance is down. So all of our fans have got to come out. We got to support our schools. We got to support our own. It's a message to all the alumnus. Support your schools.
The station designed with you in mind for all your local sports, news, information, and updates. Keep it locked right here at 87.9 FM, the Open Mic Broadcast Network, Prairie View, Texas. The Open Mic Broadcast Network is an independent network that is dedicated to local community programming featuring sports, the gospel, community news, and much, much more. It is our endeavor to keep the community informed, enlightened, encouraged, and entertained. Our continued existence is solely predicated on those who donate toward our cause. The opportunity to give is a very simple process. You can visit our Open Mic Broadcast Network site at obnradio.com, click on the PayPal button, and become a supporter today. For those of you who would prefer to send in a donation, make all checks payable to Open Mic Broadcast Network, OPEN, capital MIC, Broadcast Network, P.O. Box 891, Prairie View, Texas, 77446. Thank you for your support. Thank you for spreading the word of the Open Mic Broadcast Network, serving the community through faith and athletics, the voice of student athletics since 2002.
Hey, Mike, how you doing? Just saw that little scrummy message about the Southland Conference wanting to get Prairie View and Texas Southern and Grambling and Southern into the conference. They're running scared, afraid now. Just a big no, no, no.
And welcome back to the Sunday Night Live edition of the Mike Prince Show. Man, we had athletic director Dr. Donald Reed on, and we had to cut it short. He had a sinus infection, and he had given me the warning prior to, and I didn't want to be guilty of not being a man of my word for keeping him on. It sounded like he was ready to go, but I didn't want to have to pay the cost down the road. Heard a lot. Heard the soundbite again where a caller came in on the message line, which is at 713-570-6736, talking about the Southland interest in trying to snatch 4 replacements from the SWAC to replace at least part of their 5 and a potential 6 that are vacating or have vacated the Southland Conference. And, of course, Dr. Reed said, no, not interested. You don't go to dinner unless you're interested in going to dinner with that person. So it's a resounding no for right now. That's what we have from the Prairie View side. I can't speak for Texas Southern, nor Grambling. But you heard it here, and we're still going to watch it. It's still newsworthy, noteworthy. We also heard them talk about the budgets, where they can fluctuate from 12 million to 17 million. And a lot of that is going to be predicated on student enrollment. You heard when we asked what was the percentage of ticket sales in the overall budget, and it was 10%. So if we were to break that down mathematically, you're talking anywhere between $1.2 to $1.7 million from ticket sales. What is that an underline saying? We're not making a whole lot of money from ticket sales. We're not making a whole lot of money from the guaranteed games, but the guaranteed games are making an impact. They're helping to offset. Now, remember, ticket sales are different from that of guaranteed games. And if your ticket sales are only 10% of your budget, so whatever your budget is, you can pick one out the lot. It's only 10% on average. Some might fluctuate a little bit more, but I doubt it very seriously. So the growth and the money truly comes from your student enrollment. Now, if that being the case, and I had Dr. Ruth Simmons on a couple of years ago prior to the pandemic, and I just asked her flat out, what are we at Prairie View doing to increase an online presence? Because with an online presence, you can actually increase your student enrollment basically overnight between 15 and 25%. Of course, you're not going to offer every program that you would with an on-campus experience, but there are a few programs that you could model with an online impact that could increase your student enrollment, which in turn increase revenues, which in turn everybody gets a little bit from the kitty. And it's really what COVID has forced the hands of institutions who thought they could or couldn't, now seeing that they have some form of online presence. Now it's just a matter of moving it up to the next level. Because when you look at Grand Canyon, New Hampshire, Phoenix, and other online institutions that appear to have blown up overnight, Prairie View, between 8,000 and 9,000 students, can easily get to 10,000 students, 12,000 students with an online presence. It's something worth looking into, something that should be looked into. And by golly, why isn't it being looked into if not? But just something to really look and mull over. You heard Dr. Reed also mentioned that on a scale of 1 to 10, he's saying to the athletic department, in his opinion, under observation, 7.5 to 8, which is a B plus range. Now, he wouldn't reveal too much, obviously, but what changes are coming, if any, when it comes to athletics? Not sure. Should there be some changes? You guys let me know. The message line 713-570-6736. Weigh in on what you think one way or the other. Should it stay as it is, or should there be some things fine-tuned? Would love to hear your feedback, your response from the very said issue. Now, the one that was I guess, more pressing. And let's be honest, we kind of heard a vague response on the 2.8 to 3.0 deals. And then it's narrowed down to per case situation. And if it's going to be on a per case situation, why not just save everybody the grief and heartache and just make it a 2.0, 2.5, be done with it? I understand that you want to set a little standard, but if you're setting the standard that is going to weed out the very ones that the institutions were designed for, what's your point? What's your purpose? Why are you in business? Why are your doors open if you're going to weed out those who can benefit from it the most? While we are catnapping, when I say we, not just Prairie View, as a whole, these community colleges are transitioning to offering 4-year degrees. They're spreading all over the place like wildfire. Lone Star College in the Texas area, all over the place, offering 4-year programs. University of Houston, satellites or satellite campuses all over the place. In the very thing that Prairie View is known for, in the backyard of Prairie View, in the Katy area, engineering, nursing. We have to become proactive because when the dust settles, it's about your enrollments. Your enrollment is the engine for everything connected to your university. I got to take a break. We come back. We'll have some more of tonight's episode. Time truly flying, man. It is truly, truly flying. But I gotta keep some things moving, and we'll be right back with more of our Sunday Night Live edition of the Mike Prince Show here on the Open Mic Broadcast Network. Don't you dare touch that dial. Do you hear me? Don't you dare touch it.
Broadcasters come into our lives on radio and TV, bringing us information and entertainment. Broadcasters are there for us, but who is there for them when they fall on hard times? The Broadcasters Foundation of America provides financial assistance to broadcasters in acute need due to a critical illness, accident, or other serious misfortune. If you know of a broadcaster on the air or behind the scenes who may need our help, please share our message. Visit broadcastersfoundation.org.
Have sports, we'll travel. The Open Mic Broadcast Network serving student athletes from Little League, high school, and collegiate coverage right here on the Open Mic Broadcast Network. From coast to coast, from dusk till dawn. You can catch all student athletic action right here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network, the station designed with you in mind. Serving the community through faith and athletics, the Open Mic Broadcast Network, the voice of student athletics.
Hello, this is Alonzo Hardy Jr., the president of the SWAC Alumni Association. The SWAC Alumni Association is an organization founded on December 10, 1999, at the Sheraton Hotel in Birmingham, Alabama. Its mission is to serve as a rallying ground for individuals who have made the Southwestern Athletic Conference the illustrious conference that it is today. Its membership is open to former student athletes who played in the conference in any sport, as well as to coaches, athletic administrators, staff members, game officials, and fans. Annually, the association holds a Legends Awards and Roast Banquet or luncheon where it honors individuals with Lifetime Achievement Awards, a Chuck Prophet Wagon Master Award, and occasionally a Distinguished Service Award. Proceeds from that event help to finance degree completion scholarships for student athletes who have exhausted their playing eligibility at SWAC universities, but who may still need an extra semester or two to complete their college studies. For more information on the SWAC Alumni Association or to get information on becoming a member, you can send correspondence to SWAC Alumni Association, 875 Miller Creek Lane, Newport News, Virginia, 23602. The email address is SWAC Alumni Association at yahoo.com.
And welcome back to the Mike Prince Show Live, Sunday night edition. Whizzing right on through those of you who may have missed our solo guest on this evening, Dr. Donald Reed, recapping some of the conversation that he and I had. Note number one, as far as he is concerned, Prairie View will not be going to the Southland. I'll repeat that one more time. As far as Dr. Reed is concerned, Prairie View will not be going to the Southland. Not interested. Hip, hip, hooray. Number two, the Prairie View athletic budget fluctuates anywhere between $12 million and $17 million. And of course, a lot of that is predicated on student enrollment. Point number three, the ticket sales contribute to roughly 10% of the overall budget. And the more I think about that, he probably was being generous on that. But we'll take the 10%. Point number three, it might be four, I don't know, I'm losing count. It's late in the day for me. Student enrollment. What can be done? It is a new way. Education will never be the same as we once upon a time knew it. And what adjustments are being made, in particular at Prairie View A&M University, to address the changing scenario? We still just scratching the surface, but we're close to running out of time. It's always a joy. It's always an honor to be able to open these microphones up and share with you our thoughts, research, opinions, guests, and everything else that we try to bring you here from the Open Mic Broadcast Network. And apparently, it's been appreciated. You're listening. You're sending in contributions, comments, and everything else. We need you to keep it coming. Visit the website at obnradio.com. Click on the donation button. Become a listening partner that way. If you own a business, part of an organization, and would like for us to help you spread your message, reach out to us, 832-213-8824. I am going to exit stage left for right now. Thanking Dr. Donald Reed. Hope he feels better. Thanking you all for joining in. We got a special treat that we're going to launch out this week. Be sure to stay tuned and check it out. Until the appointed time and appointed hour, I am the radio guy, Dr. Mike Prince. It's time for me to exit stage left. But until the next time, you guys be blessed, and we'll see you on the other side.